Amen. I give honor to God, my Father, to His Son, my Savior, to His Spirit that quickens me, to the angel of this house, and my friend and brother, the Reverend Frankey Grayton. We thank God for Him allowing me to be a part of this last 7 sayings of our Savior. Amen. I've been given the assignment of the 4th word. The 4th word comes from Matthew, the 27th chapter, beginning at verse 45 through 47, and also want to use the 51st verse. Amen. It says, now, from the 6th hour, there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour, Jesus cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Some of them that stood there when they heard him speak says, he's calling on Elias. Verse 51 says, and behold, the veil of the temple was rent in two, from the top to the bottom, and the earth quaked, and the rocks split. Amen. I want to talk from this thought or theme of the cost to reconnect.
All right. Come on.
The cost to reconnect. I don't know about you, but there have been times when I missed out on paying my phone bill. To pick up the phone to find that my service had been disconnected.
Come on now. All right.
Lord help.
That's right.
Hadn't paid the bill. There was a debt that was owed.
Right.
And my service was disconnected.
Come on, man. Say that. Who was it?
But not only do you find that you got to pay your bill, but when you go to pay your bill, they tell you that there's a reconnect fee. There's a cost to get reconnected.
You preach to them.
Take your time.
Listen. There were several incidents that were taking place at the crucifixion at the cross. And none of them were coincidence. The dark cloud covers the canvas of the earth where the cross was hung. There was a cry from the cross, and then the curtain in the temple was cut in two. There was a dark cloud that covered Christ on the cross. There was a loud cry from the cross. There was a cutting of the curtain of the veil in the temple. There was a dark cloud covering Christ on the cross because he was paying, amen, the price, amen, for my reconnect. There was a debt that I owed that I could not pay.
That's right.
And he thought it not robbery to descend from heaven to come to earth, amen, to reconnect me to our Father. He came down, he disrobed in heaven. He disconnected from heaven and came down to earth. Amen. And in this hour, he was taking on the sins of the world, and this darkness covered the earth so much so that God said, I can't even look at you while you're going through this. Somebody need to hear me today. Your sin can separate you from God. And I don't know who I'm talking about today, but the reason that you're disconnected is because of the sin that's in your life. And I got good news for you today. I come to tell you that you can get reconnected. Anybody want to be reconnected to the Lord? Anybody want to get rehooked up, reconnected? Help me in here, Lord. This darkness that filled the earth, it was because at that time, amen, he was taking on the sins of the world. He was being abandoned that I might be adopted. Somebody need to hear me there. This darkness was strange like no other. It was because Christ was in the midst of a prison exchange. He was switching his life for mine.
That's right.
My life for his. I come today to tell you that there's a cost to get reconnected. Amen. Aren't you glad today that he died that you might be reconnected? This darkness, it covered the earth, and during the midst of all of that, this dark cloud covered all the earth. But not only was there a dark cloud, but there was a cry from the cross. Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? The word forsaken, the word ikonetelo, is the Greek word which says forsaken. Another definition is abandoned, a derelict, a defector, helpless, renounced, to be left behind. God, help me in here. Why was Christ feeling abandoned? Amen. Because the human feelings of being left behind and being separated from his Father for the first time in all of eternity. Amen. He felt disconnected. God had abandoned Christ, and as I said, he had adopted us, amen, because of what he was doing. Man was a derelict in doing their duty and had defected, amen, and they needed to be delivered. Do you know anybody that need to be delivered today? I come today to tell you, I challenge each of you to find somebody in your community, find somebody in your family, amen, and you bring them to the Christ, amen. You connect them, amen. You be the conduit that draws them back, amen, to the church. That's what our job is, amen, to reconnect those that are lost. Amen. Christ became our paraclete. He walked through hell for us, amen, to help us in our situation. There was a strange dark cloud. There was a loud cry from the cross. But there also was a cutting of the curtain in the temple. God help me. The temple curtain was cut in two while Christ was hanging on the cross. Help me, Lord, help me. The veil cutting in the temple was an emblem of Christ's flesh being cut for us. Amen. Somebody, he was being beaten and he had hung on the cross simply because, amen, he was hanging there for us.
Yes, sir.
The veil in the temple was cut in two, and it was an emblem of Christ's flesh being cut for us. And here's the key. We got to look at how the veil was cut. You know, it's a little strange. It wasn't cut from the bottom up, but it was cut from the top down. Listen, that's a little strange for me. Isn't that a little strange for you? Amen. Typically, if you're going to cut something, amen, you're not going to go up on the top of it and come down. But I need you to know and understand today that God was in the midst of doing something, amen, that we didn't see, we didn't understand. God was saying, I'm cutting the top down because I'm coming down from where I am to reconnect my son back to me, and because he's being reconnected back to me, and when he comes back to me, not only will he be back to me, but I'm going to send the Holy Spirit, amen, that he would indwell you, that you might get reconnected. I'm coming today to tell you, is there anybody here that want to get reconnected to God the Father? You got to come through Jesus, and Jesus said, I'm going to send the Holy Spirit that you might get connected and stay connected. He says in his word that he's going to put his seal on you, and when you've been sealed, how many of you know that nobody can break the seal of the Holy Spirit that's put us like? I come today to tell you that when you've been connected, when you've been reconnected, you got to give God praise. You got to give him honor. You got to thank him for who he is, thank him for what he's done. I don't know about you today, but I'm glad that he died that I might get reconnected with who he is. Y'all sound like you got the lesson. I'll give you the story. Let's see that. There was a story told about this man. He decided to leave his family. Frankey just disconnected from everybody. Okay, he didn't stay connected to any of his family members. And he found himself in this foreign country. And then he found himself falling off the side of the road down into a deep pit. He was in a deep pit. It was deep. Amen. And so he kept crying out. He kept hollering and asking for help. Amen. And he kept hollering and rejoicing. He just kept crying and calling out for help. And finally, somebody heard him. And when the guy came and he looked down, he says, "Man, you in a real deep pit. Let me see what I got." Amen. Amen. My rope is long enough. Amen. To get to you. Amen. So he grabbed his rope and threw it down there, and he come up short. How many times have we come up short trying to find God on our? How many times have you come up short? Amen. Trying to do it your way. I come today to tell you that you got to get reconnected, and you need help to get reconnected. So the man said, "Okay, I'll come up short." And so he went back up there. When he got back up, he said, he tried to flag down another guy. Another guy stopped, amen. And he says, "Look, I'm trying to help this fella, amen. And he's way down. He's way down there." He says, "Do you have any rope that you can help, amen, that we might be able to possibly reach him to pull him out of the pit?" Amen. The pit, people in trouble. How many of you in trouble today, man, because you're in a pit? So he says, "Listen, okay, I can't do it by myself. God says, I've watched over you, amen, and tried to rule you and get you connected from heaven, but you wouldn't hear me. Then I send my son to walk with you, and then you hang him on a cross and you kill him. But when he died, amen, he says, I'm going back up to heaven and I'm going to bring the Holy Spirit." And here's the key to the story, amen. God connected with Jesus, and Jesus connected with the Holy Spirit. That man, amen, was God the Father, amen. That first guy, amen, that came there was to reach down and help him. That was Jesus, amen. And Jesus said, "Look, I'm going to give you the Holy Spirit," amen. And here's what they did. God connected with Jesus, and Jesus connected with the Holy Spirit and dropped their rope down over the side of the mountain, and they were able to reach the man and